Welcome to Lokayat. We have a very special guest from Odisha. Mr. Manas Jena is an eminent scholar, writer, a political activist, social activist working on Dalit rights, Adivasi issues in Odisha. He is very well known. He is a columnist also. And today we are going to discuss the issue of the categorization or classification based on the recent judgment of the Supreme Court, which has actually created a lot of division, lot of heartburn among various communities in the scheduled caste lists. And today we are discussing various issues related to it. So Manas has recently written a very eloquent and elaborate piece on the subcategorization, and I'm going to start with that issue. Manas, I want to know from you, as why have you supported the Supreme Court judgment? What is the reason behind that?
Yeah, thank you, Vidya, for this interview. Actually, as I have already written on this issue, so I want to keep the whole subject on 4 or 5 points. The first one is, actually this issue has been evolved out of the grassroots reality. It is not as many friends they are telling that it is a conspiracy, this, that. So I think it is a reflection of Indian social reality that we need to understand. And way back sometime in 1990, during those days, I was quite active at national level in NCTSR, you know that.
Yeah.
So that time, this Madiga Porad Samiti.
Yes, yes.
Actually, they have started this event in Andhra Pradesh. And Krishna Madiga, the leader of that movement.
Yes.
He started with this Madiga Dandora.
Yeah.
And those days, Chandrababu Naidu was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Yeah. Also, now he is the CM of Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah. Undivided Andhra
and
Pradesh.
Around 1 lakh people, they marched to the capital of Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, to touch the feet of Chandrababu Naidu. That was their slogan. And the demand was this subcategorization. Then immediately after that, they made the classification under 4 categories, A, B, C, D.
Yes.
You know that. So then the matter went to the Andhra Pradesh High Court. Then it was again moved to the Supreme Court. Then we have this famous that judgment, the Chennai judgment.
Yes.
And this Chennai and other 2 friends, they are from
Mala Mahanadu.
Mala Mahanadu. And of course, Chennai is no more. The other 2 friends, they are there. So then the another episode with the Haryana and Punjab.
Yes.
Yeah. Then both the issues together, they went to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, this August 1st, the 7-member bench with 6-1 majority judgment. So they have made 3 points very clearly, 3-4 points. One is the subcategorization is possible. It can be done by the states. States, huh? It can be done by the states. Second, when they are doing this subcategorization, they have to justify this, substantiate this with sufficient data, study, And third is that this kind of decision can also come under judicial scrutiny. It's not that
Yeah.
it's final with the states. And the second is this creamy layer can be extended to SC and ST. You know, earlier in Indira Sahni, this judgment that Supreme
Mandal
Court
Commission,
told
yeah.
ki creamy layer is only applicable to OBC. It is
Yeah.
not applicable to SC and ST. And this time they have brought this issue that creamy layer can be applicable to SC and ST. But the way creamy layer is applicable to OBC, in the same way, it is not applicable to OBC.
Yes, yes.
Suppose this economic criteria is being followed in case of OBC, maybe economic criteria that may not be followed in case of SC and ST. Then the third thing is that, you know, primarily the judgment, the appeal was only for this SC
Scheduled caste.
subfederation.
Yes.
And they have extended it to the scheduled tribe.
Tribals. Yeah.
Both the subfederation as well as the creamy layer.
Yeah.
And the based on this these premises, now that almost all the political parties, all the Dalit Adivasi movements, and many others who are concerned on this, so they are opposing creamy layer.
Yeah.
That I want to quote two studies that you know, one is by Dickey. It was commissioned by Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment.
Yeah.
To know this creamy layer issue among SC and ST.
Yeah. But creamy
So
layer
there
has been
they have-
largely a settled issue, Manas, because all the parties have actually opposed it. And all governments are opposing it, political parties, even activists. I don't think there is any difference of opinion on the creamy layer issue among the majority of the people.
Yeah. So actually, I'm coming to that. Just so these two things, they have very clearly said that if you calculate the category A and B officers, then all the political parties, MP and MLA put together, they are the creamy layer.
Yeah.
And they have estimated it is not more than 5 lakh.
As a 5 lakh.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 lakh something, oddly they have calculated. So, and if we take the one population of SC and ST, it is 20 crore and 10 crore. So around 30 crore. So in a 30 crore population, this 5 lakh is nothing, even not 1% of the thing. So this, and second is also, I want to share with you another study. It's a NSO 77 survey.
Yeah.
And the report came in 2019. This is a debt and investment survey by a national statistical organization. So this time they have surveyed the assets, and they have socially categorized SC, ST, OBC, and others.
Okay.
That's a very interesting finding. And that the social group, those don't have less assets in comparison to other social groups. They are the scheduled caste in India. Even the tribals have a little more asset than the scheduled caste, because these tribal communities, they have some amount of land.
Yes, that's important.
So that's why these Adivasis have very little more asset.
Yes.
Than the scheduled caste. So these two things So the subcategorization actually, this criminal area is not an issue. Even many parties
Yeah.
they are also opposing. But now on this issue of subcategorization, so I can say the whole country is divided in this. So many of our friends, those are in social justice movement, Ambedkarites. So they are saying that it is even division of Dalit and Adivasis. And many others also are very critically when commenting on this. So what is my position that, that as I told, I started with that that we have to accept the Indian social reality. And you know that when Baba Sahib Ambedkar told this whole caste system and it's a hierarchical.
Graded inequality.
And it's graded from top to bottom, it is graded. And even that is also applicable to these scheduled caste, the scheduled caste in India.
Absolutely.
And already at all India level, we have identified 1100
castes.
scheduled castes,
Among scheduled castes
in India. Like in our state, in Odisha, we have around 95 subcastes and synonymous also. So those are identified as scheduled caste in Odisha.
But they are not subcastes, they are castes actually. Because sub means within that, because they are different castes.
There are also synonymous names, suppose for particular community that is coming under one caste.
Yeah.
They have 3-4
subcastes.
Some other names which are applicable. And sometimes these are also issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in Odisha, we have a caste called Mehentar. Mehentar are mostly the manual scavengers.
Yeah, Mehetars, yeah. You call Mehetar?
Yeah. And you know, surprisingly, this Mehentar word is not in the list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other the synonymous names, castes with the scavenging man occupations and leather work, like Hadi, like the similar names, they are there. But surprisingly, this Mehentar word is not there. So, you know, these people have been struggling how to include their name in the list.
Oh, well, this is the biggest woe.
And you know, like
it looks a very scandalous thing actually.
Yeah, exactly. So if we see mostly these people who are in scavenging occupations, mostly Safai Karmacharis, sweepers, in Odisha and the rest of the states in India. So somehow they don't have land, and even education wise they have a very less representation in comparison to other social groups. So they have been suffering like this, like in Odisha, these Mehentars. They have been struggling only to include their caste name in the scheduled caste list. Though everyone knows that they are scheduled caste.
Oh, they are the worst victim of the caste system.
They are in the lowest of the social thing order. So they have been struggling. And similarly, when I travel to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, you know, I was this convener of land rights movement.
Yes.
So that was actually an opportunity for me to travel all over India to meet people. Yes. So there I saw actually the communities who are in agriculture, and later they have acquired some kind of an education, something. So they made a little bit progress. But those are more in the caste-based occupations. Yes. So, like even scavenging and many other caste-based occupations, leather work and others. So they have not developed like the people, those are even agriculture. If we can compare the Andhra Pradesh, Mala and Madiga, Malas, they left these caste-based occupations and they're more in agriculture workers are Malas. And also they have education, so they somehow went develop. And this has been a debate among the scheduled caste communities. And that primarily this scheduled caste list they made based on this primarily based on the issue of untouchability.
Yes.
If we see this one Simon Commission report in 1928, 1930, in between that period. So Simon Commission report also very exhaustively report about these issues. And there they have also reported that this degree of untouchability and this degree of social discrimination, it is little varies from state to state.
Yeah, they differ and that, yeah.
So suppose in Odisha, we have a different kind of an experience, not the similar experience like Andhra and Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and other things. So there are many regions of that because of the social grouping and the kind of geopolitical setting. So that actually contributed to the kind of social relationship. Suppose in Odisha, basically we have a tribal society. So, we are in between the Aryans and the Dravid. On that part, this North India culture, and in this part we have the one South Indian.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
And this
actually,
Bengali influence.
Because
so we have a typical mixed kind of thing. So where that we don't have that much of what I can say. This is just a degree. Not that Odisha doesn't have any social discrimination or untouchability, but if we compare with others, it may be a little less than that, because of this kind of social setting and geopolitical condition that has contributed. But still, even I can say this subcaste within this scheduled caste, this subcaste also varies in degree. Suppose we have a caste here called this Keuta Kavarta.
Yeah.
So basically, there's some of them are into fishing, and some of them are into the pop. This they're made out of rice. Some kind of We locally call it chuda, pop rice kind of things. So they're into that kind of business, and they have entered into the list of scheduled castes.
And Dhibar. What is that? Dhibar?
Not weaver. They're
Dhibar.
And this pop rice makers. They sell it.
You mentioned three castes. No? There were other, the Dhibar caste. Dhibar or Dhaibar?
Not Dhibar. Keuta and Kaivarta.
Okay.
There's also Dhibara. Some of them are Dhibara because they're half of them are into fishing. And some are into this kind of pop rice and business.
So they are in the scheduled caste list.
Yeah, they're in the scheduled caste list, and a movement is going on in Odisha in the name of Aspursha Dalit Sarankan Samiti. This one untouchable Dalit save education movement. So what is their argument? They are saying that they are touchable and they have more access to the caste Hindus. So therefore, they have also politically more acceptable by the Brahminical parties, because that in spite of choosing a untouchable, if we choose even touchable, so it will be good for us. And this time these MPs, they got elected. All are from the this caste and from BJP. Yeah. So, and also a good number of MLA, they also.
So they have wider political representation. Political representation as well.
So actually this is an issue in Odisha, and many of our friends also, they have gone to court cases, they are doing lobby, they have been regularly raising this issue. So this is one. And also if we see in jobs, in government jobs, in educational
There are
institutions,
like,
they are more visible in that category. Another interesting thing, in actually this Bengali refuse, those are
refugees.
from
Yeah, yeah, you
West
mentioned
Bengal,
that here. Yeah, yeah.
West Bengal, and from Bangladesh.
Okay, they were settled there.
This one Nam Sudra community.
Yeah.
So they have been widely rehabilitated in Odisha, mostly
Oh,
in the
okay.
scheduled area,
Okay.
in the one undivided Koraput districts. In
Uh,
the schedule, we have almost one half of the geographical area of Odisha is fifth scheduled area,
yeah, and
and
they have been settled in scheduled area.
yeah, they all settled in Malkanagiri. They have
Oh,
Malkanagiri villages. So, they have provided an 5 acre of land. And this one Namsudra community also identified as one of the scheduled caste community in Odisha.
okay, okay,
So many of them got elected, became ministers.
okay.
Actually, they are not untouchable in Odisha. And you know that the scheduled caste is even state list. That your scheduled caste in Uttar Pradesh means only in Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah, yeah, it may not be in
If your
here.
caste name is not there, you can't be scheduled caste in other
Actually,
states.
the similar
But
crisis is happening.
this Namsudra communities,
But
so they are scheduled caste in Bengal, scheduled caste in Odisha,
there might be
maybe
scheduled caste in Uttarakhand also because there is a crisis
Uttarakhand
going on.
also. Huh?
Yeah, there is.
By taking this chance of this scheduled caste list, so they are also politically visible, and they are visible in business, in the rest of the
Okay.
things, and relatively they are little man forward socially.
Yeah.
And this man Malkanagiri, Korafut, these are the scheduled areas. We have
Yeah.
Adivasis, even primitive tribal groups. So we
Yeah.
have scheduled caste there. So they have a anger against these communities that they are using this scheduled caste list, and anyway this and third I told you that this Hadi and Mehentar, those
Yeah.
are scavengers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly more into this
Street sanitation
washing,
work.
cleaning, and all these occupations.
Municipalities also.
So they are the real untouchable in the state.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So they're in the lowest ladder of social hierarchy. Even within scheduled caste, many scheduled caste communities, they have also practiced untouchability against them. And though we made the slogan that we should have roti beti ka rishta,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
but
That
this is not being
never.
implemented within this caste. So only we are saying to others that
It's a
we should have roti beti ka
it's a
rishta.
political slogan,
Yeah.
nothing beyond
So
that. Yeah.
this is not applicable. And also another interesting thing that we have award for intercaste marriage, that you know.
Yeah.
It is being given by the Minister of Social Justice and
Hmm.
Empowerment. You know that what is that? If a scheduled caste get married to a caste Hindu,
Then it is
then he or
intercaste.
she will be awarded
Oh, boss.
2.15 lakh.
But not in interally.
But if this scheduled caste community intermarry, you are not going to be awarded by the government.
Oh,
So that what I suggest, the government should introduce this
yes,
fast
yes.
among the scheduled caste
Yeah.
to encourage but it has been introduced by the government, that caste Hindu versus scheduled caste. Gandhi, Loya, and many others, even
This,
Ambedkar and
you see what
Savarkar.
happens, Manas, that the whole attempt is every time the people try to define things, they very homogenize everything. So scheduled caste means they are all together one. OBCs, every OBC, 52% are similar, or all upper castes are similar. They
Yeah,
deny this kind of the ethnic diversity within every segment of India. And that is
yeah,
how things have been like. This suits well to the dominant people, dominant communities everywhere, to,
yeah.
to create a impression that everything is homogenized, we are all equal. Every 52% OBC list means everybody is equal. Or so this is a crisis of
Yeah.
our intellectuals also.
Yes. Also I told you the experience from Odisha.
Mhm.
And that we have similar experience in Andhra Pradesh, in Tamil Nadu, in Bihar, in rest of the places of the world. And the second note I want to make it here,
Yeah.
that some states they have done official studies, and also some NGOs like Navasarjan Trust, they have also made some studies. And that what is the intra-Dalit relationship, intra-scheduled caste relationship, and how it has contributed for formation of a different kind of society. So I was part of a discussion in even Gujarat, also part of discussion in Maharashtra. So this new Buddhist, and
Yeah.
also in Gujarat, some forward communities.
Yeah.
So, also in Tamil Nadu with when Arundhatyas.
Yeah.
The number of studies they have been established that also the social relationship among the so-called untouchables, the scheduled caste, is not socially cordial.
Yes.
And if we take 3-4 indicators, that what kind of relationship they enjoy in terms of common dining, in terms of access to their houses, in terms of sharing festivals during their marriage, birth, death, even some festivals. And fourth is marriage. So if you take 3-4 indicators, you will find that 60 and 70% of these scheduled caste communities, they don't have such a relationship. Rather, there are scheduled caste communities who have more access to the so-called savarnas
Yes. Yes. That's true.
rather than these expressions. And if you see even this, actually, there is no record that we have record about an intercaste marriage. Suppose in Odisha, the SST Development Department, they are maintaining a record. A record in that cases which are given award.
Okay.
But we don't have actually records on intra-Dalit marriage, how it is going on. Maybe even that can be an interesting study if
Yes.
someone goes that to compare that how much marriage happened within this community and how much marriage happened
Absolutely.
that can be
Between
that
the
can be
scheduled caste and the
using
Brahmins, or between
statistics
scheduled caste
to
and scheduled caste.
statistics to one justify. And in that case, actually, this woman, suppose you are a male, that you don't have any issue. You can go and stay with any community. But if you are a female and female from a low caste, then definitely you have a issue to get settled in somehow higher than so-called higher
Yeah.
caste. That's the issue. So, particularly this women of Dalit communities, women of this lowest rung of Dalit communities, they are the worst sufferer if they go for intercaste marriage. That I have not told you, I am also the president of a organization called AMPOI,
What's that?
Anti-Caste Marriage One Child Family Organization of
Oh,
India.
this is very wow.
So that here we have one professor, Professor B. Ramchandra. He's a
Okay.
retired political science professor.
Okay.
Actually, he established the organization. For last
Oh,
2-3 years, they have approached me to be the
okay.
president of that
Oh,
organizations.
okay.
And till date, they did the 11,000 intercaste marriage, interreligion marriages.
Okay.
So only they have been encouraging the runaway couple to the will
Okay.
of because lot of social restrictions, police, court
Oh,
cases, harassments, family
yeah, it's
torture.
huge.
So actually, they have saved many couple,
Okay.
many runaway couple. I can say not couple, many runaway couple.
Oh,
Otherwise, they could have committed suicide and this.
yeah.
So so what it shows, this even with the statistics, with data, with the number of studies, it is coming again and again. that this intra-Dalit social relationship is not much better than in comparison to so-called caste Hindus. And third, that even when actually, the Andhra Pradesh government, they have requested the government of India in 2008 to set up a national commission to report on subcategorization. So one Justice Usha Mehra,
Yes, yes.
she was heading, Usha Mehra was heading the one commission. And that commission actually also gave a very favorable report for
Okay.
subcategorization.
Okay.
But there they argued that we have to add one more clause to the Constitution, Article 241, to Article 1, because the list is sanctioned by the President, the list approved by the Parliament should not be when diluted by states. And state doesn't have the power to classify or to change the list approved by the President of India and approved by the Parliament. So there actually they suggested we should only add one clause that even state can do that. State should be empowered to do that, like they did in case of OBC's list.
Yeah.
The last constitutional amendment that it is the state is the final to make the OBC list, not. So this is they suggested, and there actually they asked the states to make their opinion, and 15 states they opposed this.
Yeah.
7 states they supported it. Rest of the state they are silent. They have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And Odisha was opposing this subcategorization.
Okay.
Those days it was BJP alliance government in Odisha, so they opposed it. Even these commissions in states, those who have studied this even subcategorizations, they have also given a very favorable report, and in many places they have mentioned it that there are castes within scheduled caste who doesn't have any representation in government jobs, and there are only 3-4 castes. They have taken away all the reservations.
And this
Even in this
everywhere.
Raju Commission of Andhra Pradesh, that report is interesting. You see that Raju Commission report, they clearly mention with statistics.
There is also a report in Haryana.
But only 3-4 castes. And also I want to add it also OBC report. This OBC subcategorization report, if you they have been submitted to the president, some highlights they have been published. There they have also mentioned that there are few OBC castes who are overrepresented. Only out of 2000 something, that OBC caste, only 1% of the caste, they have taken a major chunk of the populations. So even you see this Bihar caste census survey, if not census, Bihar caste survey report. It's not a census because only government of India can do that. So they have also clearly, they told there are many castes who doesn't even have money, they don't have a matriculate, and many of them has not attended college, so other things. So it and the third is if you see the ordinary observation from the community point of view, like the communities they are coming together for movement, and some kind of anger is there because of underrepresentation, because of a negligency, and more particularly because of the negligence by the fellow untouchable communities. That is also one anger that you see they are telling our brothers, we all are Dalit, we all are Scheduled Caste, but they are not equally responding to our cause. So our means the particular community cause. So what kind of unity we have? So all these 4-5 points, you can see this movement by the community and the ordinary common man observation in the one community from different states, and the study reports, and the commissions reports, and even few government reports. So all these taking together, it is very well established that this we have subculturation is a reality. But one thing I can say, this subculturation is not the only solution
Yes.
to, like they are saying this one, distributive justice, substantive justice. So, so if you want to really take the justice to the corner, to the one last man, and this reservation is not the only option. This one, subculturation is not the only solution. And there are a lot more
Yeah.
solutions so which we can
Yeah, that's the
look
important
for.
point you raised, actually
Suppose
important.
you see in case of scheduled tribes, suppose you see in case of scheduled tribes, 75 communities as primitive tribal groups. Now they are not using the primitive, they are saying PVTG, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. And we have special micro projects for this particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Some kind of extra in terms of education, land, employment, some economic development program. So actually, it is adding some kind of value to their overall development of that particular community. So what I say, if we want really this to make the substantive justice or distributive justice a kind of reality, first I can suggest that to bring them from caste-based occupation to any kind of social and dignified occupation. So there is one. Second, land and housing is also a very basic to these communities. If you see, if you visit any scavengers hamlet or any scavengers village, if you see the even they don't have decent basic amenities like land, housing, drinking water, electricity, even access to their hamlets. It's very horrible condition. Even in the urban localities, if you visit this manual scavenging huttings and these hamlets, you can very easily identify that looking at their vulnerable condition and how they're living. So this is one.
Yeah.
And second is, this what I perceived that this education is one of the important means for change. Maybe some kind of now this one Ecolobial school. It is a CBSE course and very effectively, and this government has also introduced it in the areas having more than 50% of tribal population, wherever there is the block. So they have a model residential school. So maybe that we can think of if we have some kind of quality education for these communities. So even 1-2 generation, if we check it, it will be easily make some kind of impact on the communities. But unfortunately, now this quality education became inaccessible to this socially deprived and also the poor communities. Because this English medium education has the government schools, so the quality of education has already gone down. You can take the report of Prathama and the primary education survey report, what they are saying, how the quality of education has been migrating. And if you see the children of these communities, poor, socially discriminated communities, also economically poor communities, they are mostly depend on government schools, government hostels, where the quality of education has almost gone down. And they don't have access to quality English medium schools. So that that can be one idea where we can, of course, Delhi, this casual, that leave apart the other issues of up and casual, but of course, they have tried to improve the formal government schools. That is also good. So that way we can think of land, education, access to basic service, change of caste-based occupation. Because only subculturation and is not the only solution. So, the job has been sinking day by day. And what kind of job they are going to
But
get?
that's
The
also
group D, in
yeah.
group D, they are overrepresented. And still group A is a issue, group B is a issue. And even that Dickey report says, Dalit Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they say, even all the seats will be filled up. Even 1% of the community are not going to get the job. Suppose when hypothetically saying
Well,
that if
point.
all the seats will be filled up.
The point.
Even Ambedkarites, many Ambedkarites, they have been uh, um, telling about social justice movement and all these. But in India, if we take Ambedkar, Lohia, Gandhi, even I want to include one Savarkar for this
Okay.
reason. Yeah, that leave apart the other issues relating to one Savarkar. So, yeah. When Vikram Sampad, he compiled 2 volumes on Savarkar. So there is a chapter named Caste in Stone. So there Savarkar wrote, there are 7 shackles of Hinduism, shackles, Panja, that even Savarkar argued for intercaste marriage. Savarkar argued for non-Brahminical priesthood. Savarkar argued against untouchability. Even Savarkar argued for conversion, to allow conversion to Hinduism. And he wrote to Ambedkar a letter that you come, we can jointly campaign in that area. Because this Gandhi, Savarkar, Ambedkar, they are from a common area that earlier
Yeah.
Maharashtra, Gujarat was together.
Yeah.
That Ratnagiri area and others area. So even Gandhi argued for, in the latter part, in the last part, he argued for an intercaste marriage. And he made a principle wherever there will be, if there is any intercaste marriage between caste Hindu and scheduled caste, I only attend that kind of marriage, not all the marriages. It was a principle by Gandhi. And even Lohia, he suggested to their youth wing, when Juba Jan Sabha, this Lohia's party, my socialist party, they suggested that 60-70% of the party positions should be reserved for SC, ST, OBC, minority, and women. And all party workers, all party must have a social program. What is that social program? We should encourage intercaste dining, intercaste marriage, surnameless, caste surnameless, this one titleless name. So these are the resolution of that party. And even Lohia was always arguing that this one, along with our political programs, we should have a social reform program. So, and Ambedkar finally, who very scientifically made many statements on caste, and one of this book that which is popular, that you know and me, this one, Annihilation of Caste, written in 1936 sometimes, when the scheduled caste list was declared in India. When 1936 is the book Annihilation of Caste, and same time the British government released the scheduled caste list. So there actually he also suggested that to reform this intercaste marriage, interdining, these programs are very much required. So in spite of all these suggestions by these great political leaders of this country, whether it is BJP or Congress or even our communist socialist brothers, and the so-called Ambedkarites, they don't have any social reform movement within their organization or their party. So that's that actually these social issues are not being discussed in political platforms. So then actually the whole integration has been missing in political movements. You see this farmers movement, this displacement movement, the land rights movements. There are many movements going on which we are saying when people's movement. So what is the character of these people's movements? Are they saying anything about ethnic issues or caste issues? So no. And who are the people actually leading all these issues? And where is the integration in landless movement? Are we even prioritizing that manual this scavengers should get land in priority? And their issues should be more focused in all the movements because they are the one who have been depriving from all kind of resources. These days we are talking of social capital. So who has more social capital? People have more access, socially more accessible, they have more social capital. They have access to urban localities, they have access to banks, they have access to good universities, good school and colleges. So, but if you are socially marginalized means you don't have access to such opportunities, such resources. Even if it is available by government, you don't have that access. And your marginalization of land, of resources, of education, even if job so-called, it's the core is your social identity, means your caste identity. But unfortunately, the so-called people's movement, so they are not really integrating this issue with these resource issues they are not addressing.
Yeah, within the Dalit movement also, no, this issue
Exactly,
has
exactly,
been
Dalit
not
movement.
raised by.
So I noticed also these Dalit parties and Dalit movements, the so-called Dalit movements in many sense. They don't have any social program in the village. And that's it's fact that some Dalit groups, they're more visible socially and politically. Even you can name it, maybe it is the Chamars Chamar in Uttar Pradesh, or the Paswans in Bihar, or the Malas in Andhra Pradesh.
Mahars in Maharashtra.
There are many, quite few names are there. So, and so, of course, they are also suffering the same social stigma, untouchability. They also face struggle. But when it is an intra-community comparison, when it comes, so they are very little visible. Let's try. So what I expect and what as I studied Ambedkar, understand Ambedkar, that we should address the issues of the last man. So who is the last man in the social hierarchy? That we need to identify. And the whole this subcategorization issues has been attacked on the ground that it will break the unity of the Dalits. So what kind of unity currently the Dalits have been enjoying? That this is a unity in census, to quote a figure.
Yeah.
This is a unity
Yeah.
just to get a place in the list of scheduled caste. What else unity we have?
Absolutely.
And that that many friends they are commenting that it's a battle between Mahara and Chamar. So they are leading from Nagpur, they are from Lucknow. So you see how
But
of
Manas, people know the one thing is there that
yeah.
the Chamars like Madigas are also Chamar, now fought against it.
Yeah.
So the North Indian people think that in Uttar Pradesh while they oppose it, but the Madigas in Maharashtra, in Telangana, in Karnataka, in Andhra Pradesh, as well as even the Chamars in Maharashtra actually asked for categorization.
So you see, we have Dalit party in power, the Chirag party in Bihar, We have Tiruvalam in Tamil Nadu. We have Bayanji and Mayawati in Uttar Pradesh. And we have
Prakash Ambedkar.
Prakash Ambedkar in Maharashtra. So they all are Ambedkarites. So, but they don't have a common program on Ambedkar ideology. So, and even in some areas, they are fighting each other. There is no coalition, no common understanding, and they all know that this untouchability still a major issue. We have SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act, Protection of Civil Rights Act, which has not been implemented.
Yes.
We have whole range of this land reform acts. You know that all the land reform acts are placed in the 9th schedule, so that there will be no judicial scrutiny.
Yeah.
But still, land reform, even the government says it is a unfinished task. So they are not raising, they are not coming together to all these issues. Third is the whole area of privatization and reservation in private sector. So they are not coming together for that. And fourth is most important, that the budget. You know, we have even provision that and the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes should get a proportionate share according to their population, as per their population in the state and national budget.
Yeah.
And this has been diluted, not implemented. This has been diverted. Of course, when states like Telangana, Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu, they have substantially done something on these issues.
Yes.
So Punjab has done a little. They have a separate directorate for scheduled caste development. But what about other states? This has not even discussed. Say in case of Odisha, we have 40% of the SC/ST population. It means half of the budget must be allocated to the scheduled caste side, but they have not been implicated. So if we really address the issue of 99% of the SC/ST through land, education, budget, employment, private sector, then the real unity can happen.
Absolutely.
But we are not addressing that. We are addressing a very limited issue, that the job in government, which is also decreasing in terms of access to that. And you know, very also you see this judiciary. If you see the history of the whole constitutional amendment, if you see half of the constitutional amendment has made on the ground of reservation only.
Yeah.
Promotion in reservation, backlog effect, catch-up principle. Lot more that each time the judiciary when came in and interpreted it even differently. So also judiciary has not been proactive to suggest all these to the government or to the communities. No, there are other areas we should look into. So judiciary, you know that this conventional discourse of Indian upper caste elite, that merit. So, so judiciary always very promptly responding to the merit issue, merit in reservation, merit in promotion. So they all brought all these issues to the person. Second, this Indian upper caste is more prompted into that the creamy layer.
Yeah.
That reservation is good, but why we are giving it to the elites or to the rich people among the scheduled caste? So that without understanding the very basis of the reservation, why it is. So they always have kind of a mindset to criticize that, okay, it should reach to the poorest of the people.
They don't talk about the creamy layer in the judiciary itself.
Yeah. So
all the judges
so,
are
and again
layer.
also quote again in the similar line, the judiciary is interested to enter into the one creamy layer issue. And now these days they are using this term and substantive justice, distributive justice. only to justify their logic. So,
Yeah.
what I want to say that and also this so-called one vegetarian argument, and that BJP is saying that we Hindus are one majority, so we should rule. And then this slogan made by BSP that is जिसका जितना
संख्या भारी
हिस्सेदारी
उसकी उतनी भागीदारी और
भागीदारी.
साझेदारी.
So what does it mean that
Yeah.
you see what they're saying, that those subcastes should have more.
Yes, yes.
Those are numerically more. So
Actually, this
again,
whole
this
majoritarian
same
politics. Yeah,
this one vegetarian
absolutely.
argument. So they're not making this reservation is a justice issue.
Yes.
They're making reservation is a caste issue.
Like it should, like the majority should get it.
Yeah, and if you see who made the slogan that this upper caste poor should have a reservation, who made it 10 to 20 years back?
Yeah. This all
It's
Ambedkarite.
BSP. Yeah, it's BSP who that if we come to power will give reservation to upper caste.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
You see, it is against constitution. But how they made this kind of slogan that we'll give reservation to upper caste? Because the idea of reservation is not economic based. And they amended the constitution, and that they have defined who is not SC, ST, OBC.
Yeah, there are, yeah.
If he or she has income of 9 lakh below, he is a poor.
Yeah.
So he
yeah, that is a fraud of the nation. Actually, if you see that the fraud on the constitution.
And this even same Supreme Court, they have not intervened on this issue. And of course, they made a constitutional amendment, the Article 14, 15, and 16. These three, that whenever there is some kind of interpretation, they're using these three articles, 14, 15, and 16, based on which the whole reservation argument happens. So this is how the larger issues like the dreams of power and freedom fighters, that India will be a sovereign democratic republic. Then we add into it the socialism and secularism and those whole challenges of unemployment, growth, and all this. So these are not coming as a political discourse in these movements.
Yeah, that's true.
These so-called social justice movements, so-called Ambedkarite movements, they are not promptly addressing the contemporary issues, the contemporary challenges.
Yeah.
And they are always ready to jump into these petty issues, which may not help much, but rather it will polarize much.
Yeah, absolutely. Manas, your point is very well taken.
And I have been telling always that we must have some kind of social reform movement within scheduled caste to address the issues of untouchability, caste-based discrimination, whatever form that exists within the community, number one. Number two, we should have some basic things like access to land, quality education, that and budget. Whatever the government resources available, we must have access to that. And third is that this, this identity issues are and very often being pushed by BJP. When Krishna Madiga was on stage with Modi in Hyderabad, so there they actually made a promise that
we will have categorization.
And also you have noticed, this our Solicitor General and Attorney General, they spoke in favor of that because.
Yes, because in many places their government are supporting. Haryana government to the BJP is supporting very clearly.
So actually they saw a kind of a polarization that if we raise these issues, that we can easily polarize the community.
Yeah.
So Because the ground they have studied that it's a issue exists in the ground. So let's use that issue to polarize the
Yeah, yeah.
community.
See,
Is the
that is true
it
about
is
the upper caste
it
leadership
is
of
not the
political
real intention
parties.
of the
Yeah,
ruling party that we should have
yeah.
distributive justice,
Yes, yes, yes.
substantive justice. So they are using this term, but the
But
real let's polarize the community. So what I suggest that the people's movement, the Dalit Adivasi movement, Ambedkarite movement, social justice movement, even the movement for socialism or any kind of progressive movement for equality. So they must come together to address the larger issues. But when they address the larger issues, they should equally concern for the internal issues.
yes,
Because if we address the internal issues, then our real strength will improve
yeah,
and the
that
real bhaichara will come. If we really connect with our immediate neighbor, not
yes,
not
yes.
big things. So, but unfortunately, that many of these so-called leaders they are not accepting this reality. Rather, they are more focusing on this. The subculturation will break the
See,
unity.
most of the leaders, the political leaders, are actually addressing
So,
their
like BJP
constituencies.
arguing, na the BJP arguing that don't talk about caste, don't talk about reservation. It's
Yeah,
Hindu unity
yeah,
will be
yeah,
breaked. So they are saying don't
yeah.
discuss subculturation. Dalit unity will be breaked. It's a similar line here.
Yeah,
So integration, unity,
yeah,
uh, motherland, and nationality.
yeah,
So all these big things there. So
yeah,
equally, this means subnationals, subcastes, and very specific issues of the subcaste need to be addressed equally when we say about the some kind of a larger change. So otherwise, there will be when polarization and when infighting, more infighting. Yes. And
uh,
lastly, I may forget that I was
yeah,
about to share with you
yeah.
the recent one Abhijit Banerjee analysis on this one inequality.
Okay.
So they are saying how inequality has been growing. Even it is more faster than before, the kind
Yeah,
of inequality is happening. So when there is more marginalization and this untouchability and discriminations are coming in a very different way. Uh, uh, like this now they are when theorizing that
yes,
this
yes.
racism,
Yeah,
uh, the this one xenophobia, Islamophobia, and they're also saying about this one immigration issue, uh, this rabbit nationalism. So these are coming up in a new form where they have been discriminating the so-called poor, the slum dwellers, the Dalits, the minorities, even the women, the Adivasis. So these are the issues still active and alive in our day-to-day life. We need to reinterpret the whole areas of social discrimination. It is not just traditional untouchability. Also,
yeah, yeah.
many things are
Absolutely.
coming in a new form. That this
Yeah,
I few days back I was in a manual scavenger colony. Not manual scavenger. They are Safai Karmacharis,
yeah,
sanitary workers now
yeah.
they're saying. So they're saying that earlier there was no restrictions. Now we are using machines, all the things. So I told who are the one other people are also using the machine. No, no, sir. Only we are only using that. Who else will go there?
Yeah, yeah.
So earlier that was not a boot on a gloves, not a machine. Now they supplied them to, but
Mm.
the same people, the same social category.
Yeah, yeah,
So even the so-called other people, they are not coming to this sacred occupation. This
yeah.
like Gandhi told, na, the
Yes,
Bangi
yes.
and Brahmins, I equally
Yeah,
respect
yeah,
them. So, but there must be some kind of an exchange. that someday
Yeah,
we should allow the Bhangi to go to the temple, and we should ask to our Brahmin brother to someday to come to the manhole or to
yeah, absolutely.
this one Sukpit, so that the then you can realize that okay, the Brahmin and Bhangin are the same. They both can be
Yeah,
replace each other.
yeah,
So, but that has not been happening. They both are intact in the same place.
yeah,
So, so, so finally, let me conclude. I think it is already late. Huh?
yeah,
So I think I personally, I can say that the subculturation is a reality, and the states which are aspiring it to do it, they should do it. We should not oppose that. And subculturation is not the only solution. There should be a lot more other areas we need to explore. And third is most vital, that we all should work for the annihilation of caste. In which form they exist, let's change. If this roti beti is a solution,
yeah,
education is a means, so let's do that. Within the community, intra Dalit and outside Dalit, do that. And make all these social issues also political issues. And these social issues must be cross-cutting in all the people's movement, whether it is farmers movement, peasant movements, student movement, Adivasi movement, any movement, even environment movement, we should make social issues cross-cutting. It should some kind of linkage we must have. Thank you so much for
uh,
for this delivery.
so,
Thank you, Vidya.
thank you so much, Manas, for giving a very eloquent explanation of the entire thing. And he is saying what I have also been saying in past, that reservation itself is not an issue. And unfortunately, we have created a halo around the government job. We have created a kind of, mythicize these jobs, while ignoring the privatization process, while ignoring the whole issue of land and access to forest and other resources, supporting the artisans, various artisan workers. So these other issues, education, health, healthcare, education for all, this should have been in the agenda. And then, as Maras said, anti-caste movement should be on our agenda. So it is time that we realize that these marginalized communities who do not even have political representation actually are seeking a little bit of sympathy from their elder brothers, actually. I would say the elders in the community who are numerically more. And that is where I think a demand from them is not that, should not be taken in such a way as if they are destroying the unity. The unity will come when we all speak to each other and sympathize with those communities which are absolutely marginalized. If we are unable to do that, we won't be doing a great service to what Baba Sahib Ambedkar has already, developed a movement, developed a whole theory for us, what is graded inequality. So it is our duty to actually carry forward the movement of Dr. Ambedkar. And the best thing is speak to each other actually. Let's share our concern. Let's start talking to each other and not allow these issues to create a kind of animosity among ourselves, because the aim of the ruling elite is to divide the whole Ambedkarite movement, Dalit movement. It is our duty to bring it together. So the duty of the communities which are bigger in numbers, which are well represented even in politically, to it is their duty to come together and take it forward. So thank you, Manas, for your very forthright thing. And I hope our all friends who watch this will enjoy the talk and will take the movement, Ambedkarite movement further. So thank you so much, Ram. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.